For more than 10 years, Don Rahtz, professor of marketing in the Mason School of Business at the College of William and Mary, has traveled to Cambodia, where his research involving emerging economies has helped guide the growth of tourism and contributed to a newfound viability of the Cambodian people.
If there is ever a country that has a compelling story and the need for some help, it's Cambodia. Following our pullout of support for the Lon Nol government, the Khmer Rouge took over fairly quickly. They started pretty much killing a large portion of the population, anyone that was educated, anyone that had training, anyone wearing glasses, because why would you need glasses unless you were going to read? One of the moments I remember in Phnom Penh was the first time I went back in and I actually saw children laughing and running and playing on the streets. I mean, it was like a moment where I said, whoa, I think things are getting better. Talking about in a 10-year time frame, this place has come back from zero.
In July 2008, 3 business students accompanied Rahtz to Cambodia. Undergraduates Ryan Miller and Alice Hahn taught in classrooms and studied local economic conditions. Tom Feist, part-time MBA student and full-time webmaster in the U.S., helped connect the teachers to the larger world using computers donated by the Mason School.
I sat in on a class and then just observing and how they were learning and everything. And the teacher, the class is dismissed and Alice goes up to the front to say something to the teacher and she's like, all right, your turn, and the teacher just bolts, like leaves. So this whole group of new kids comes in and Alice is sitting there like, oh no. What do I do, right? So they come in and she had the lesson plan turned to a certain page, so she starts reading from it. It's this book that was made in Great Britain that is using references to like watches and hats and even breakfast, which sometimes the kids don't get.
I was taking a look at the ways that technology could impact the educational instruction. I also was investigating how it could change and enhance the way the professor or the teachers can teach themselves. We were looking at ways that they can research internet on the current events on the internet and showing them how they can look up news. They were very interested at the time in reading and learning more about what was going on in Thailand.
During a break from the classroom, the William and Mary entourage traveled into the country, where Professor Rahtz has participated in ongoing outreach efforts focused on grassroots sustainability.
My research is generally focused on transitional economies. Tourism is kind of a groundbreaking way to bring foreign currency into a market that's pretty stressed out. I look for grassroots ways to start things. And if you can identify a few people who are champions for that and then develop a connection, you can then start to bring in supporting people at a small amount. I met with a couple of people. Poneri Lee, who had survived the killing fields, she'd been doing some work at a small primary school, Wat Bo Primary School. This was about 3 or 4 years ago. I sat down, chatted with her. Went to visit the school, saw that there were some opportunities there for us to make an impact other than just my research. And starting at that point on my visits there, I'm bringing in usually some sort of educational support materials. So what we hope to do is to be able to grow in a sustainable level, sort of a social entrepreneurship side of things. And in some ways, kind of my grandiose dream for Cambodia is for William and Mary to provide sort of our own mini Peace Corps.
Although at first reluctant to travel to Cambodia, the William and Mary students quickly understood that they were involved in life-changing experiences.
Going to Cambodia reinvigorated me and made me realize that I do feel passionate about things, and I felt passionate about the work we were doing in Cambodia and just about the people there. And that alone was worth the trip.
And I couldn't forget them if I wanted to, because I now have 18 people who email me almost every day to say, "Hi teacher, how are you?" in all sorts of broken English.
Shoot, you don't know what you're missing until you really go and see it. That's my story.
This revelation was nothing new to Professor Rahtz, who believed such international experiences should be integrated into each William and Mary student's education.
Students have come back year after year to me and said, you know, I'm really glad I did that. I could barely afford it when I did it. But God, that's the thing I talk about all the time. You know, time and money is what you need if you're going to travel. And you may have the money after you get out and after you've been out working for a while, but you're never going to have the time. And I think from that standpoint, if we can make an argument to donors or to friends of the college or friends of Mason, is that you have a chance to give these students an experience that they will never ever have that chance again. I've had a few of the students who have been on these trips come back and change careers. You know, they've just sort of said, I'm going to join the Peace Corps.